Good morning and welcome to Super League Live here at ACS Cobham as we get ready for one of the biggest rivalries in volleyball England. Essex Rebels, Malory Eagles. Every time these two sides meet, drama unfolds. Last year, Essex Rebels took the National Cup over Malory in 5 sets in dramatic fashion. This year, not so simple. 3-0 results the first time through, but we are expecting a high-level day of volleyball here at Cobham as we preview a big weekend on the title running. As you can see, Essex Rebels getting ready. Big news already out the Essex Rebels camp. Hassan Farhat is not going to play today. Malory Eagles also without Sam Oshita in their starting lineup, out due to getting hurt last week in National Cup. We are about 20 minutes away from Cobham as I bring in Aaliyah Rafa, Malory Eagles outside, who'll be with us for the broadcast. Aaliyah, second time on Super League Live, first time in the commentary booth. This is always a big week for volleyball. You know the Malory-Essex rivalry. How important is it for both these sides to build momentum into the last 2 months of the season?
I think with these last few weeks coming up, they're going to be busy, and I think the momentum, especially from this game, they're rivals, you know, it's a big game every time they play. I think just taking the momentum, whoever wins, even whoever loses, it's about kind of bringing it back and taking that momentum into the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and before we focus on the men's game, which is first up today, this is a busy period.
Yeah.
Game today, all 4 teams have got Bucks quarterfinal action on Wednesday, and then Essex and Malory both have to travel to Newcastle and Durham next week for a doubleheader. Yeah. So it's 4 games in 8 days. Yeah. Talk about it from a player's mindset. A lot of games is always a good thing as a player, but you've now got to manage rest, recovery, and work a training load into that.
100%. I know at UEL we have a great recovery program. We have SNC where, I mean, more than half of our teams are always in that physiotherapy office, and we're really grateful for them. I think recovery is probably the biggest thing in the next couple weeks, like keeping our bodies in check with how many games there's going to be and just the time that we put into practice, games, film, scouting, everything like that. I think it's half physical, and then I think it's also half mental. It's going into these games like you're preparing yourself, but then afterwards you're going home and you're thinking, okay, I have another one, like let's just get myself ready for the next one.
Yeah, and obviously the experience on both these rosters, especially on the men's side, you've got people that have been there, done it. Tom Shatterman and Ewan Fraser obviously leading the charge for Essex. They've been in big situations. Yeah. How important now is it to flip that in? Because especially for Essex, this is almost must win now. You're 3 points behind Nottingham with 2 games in hand, not to go to the title where it's Essex team used to be, but just to make Final 4. Yeah. So this next 8 days is really to determine, are you at Crystal Palace in April?
Yeah. No, I think we have a lot of leadership on this Essex side, and I think in Ewan, I think he's stepped up not only on this team, not only as a captain, but also in Bucks we've seen. And I think that, you know, sticking to a system and being disciplined and being determined to get to where they want to be, which obviously everybody wants to be number 1 or at least move up in these last couple weeks. I think that's just going to take discipline and determination.
So we're going to talk about the home team first, as we normally do. Malory Eagles, UEL. This men's team, it's not been as simple as you look at the league table. Obviously, when we last time at Super League Live, where you were with me, Crystal Palace, they took the first loss of the season. Yeah. But this group have lost some big names. Zach Omoshemi has gone to Czech Republic. Logan Clark out for the season. He's moved back to the US. Yeah. So how have Malory adapted to those key departures and been able to just find ways to still win games? Obviously, they lost to Nottingham in 5, but they've still picked up points. Yeah.
I think in Logan, we've seen in Olaf and Dylan, like, we've seen that they have still been disciplined on the block. We see that Jeff has created a system where, obviously in Zach, you can't replace 6'7". You can't replace height. There's just no replacing that. But what you can do is be disciplined and follow the system that I think the head coaches have made for them, which is setting a tempo, setting the momentum, and just coming out strong.
So as we just flip round so you can see the players getting ready, we're a couple of minutes away from the coin toss. Aaliyah, obviously on the Malory side, the position that they haven't really got sorted is the second outside position right now. Yeah. It's been a rotating cast. Sam Oshita's out the lineup today. So how important is it that Malory have someone step up in the last part of the season to really start with a stable 7? It's always great to have options off the bench, but when you're rotating every week, trying to find what the solution is, it's not always easy, especially from the second 100%. Position.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to find a starting 6 or 7 in the first couple weeks. When that isn't an option, it's hard to find that chemistry. So I think picking that and using today's game to not only run through the options, but to pick maybe the strongest one, it's going to create that chemistry. It's going to start in the next, for the next couple of weeks that we're talking about how important it is. And I think just picking that outside and seeing what we have on the table is going to be the most important.
And for Malory, an addition that's taken a while to come through,
Yeah.
but they do have Abdi Malik Shakuri in the lineup. The deadline signing from Richmond, missed the first league game, obviously cup tied last week in the win over Staff, so he gets to make his Malory debut. How nice is that to have someone with Super League experience to add late in the season?
No, obviously anyone with experience is going to be a huge addition to the team. Like, we already have so many people here, and then we also have half the team who has never played in the Super League before this season. So I think him coming in, and he's also a very, I would say, very large personality. He knows everybody. He's very sociable. So I think that coming in too adds to the chemistry of it's not like he's so new to everybody. Everybody knows him already. So I think it's going to be a good mesh for the team.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, spoke to Jefferson Williams about 20 minutes ago, and he still didn't know what he was doing with that second outside position. Yeah. Still trying to work out. Does he go with Ian Chow? Jared Ulia had a big game in the National Cup off the bench when Sam got hurt last week. So plenty of options, but decisions. Also, you've got the flexibility in Nathan Fullerton, right? If you need to change things up, you can just slide Nathan into the outside position and play someone else at oppo, which is a nice luxury to have as a coach. Yeah.
No, I think a deep bench, obviously, any coach wants, but at the same time, I think that's having a solid 7 is very important. I think that's what Jeff is looking for.
And what's the key? Obviously, you see Malory a little bit more. What have they been looking at to keep this momentum going? Because they've had a really stop-start second half of the season. They've had a lot of gaps in between games. As we said, this run's going to come. But what's been the focus of this team, do you think, building into the back end of the season?
Besides the chemistry that we've been talking about, obviously it's hard to play with a new person in the lineup every single game. I think just mental toughness, honestly. I think coming into these games are really mental. Just coming off of last season, coming into this season with so many new players and basically a new team, I think that the physicality of last season is being changed to determination and discipline in the system this season.
Right, it looks like Captain McCall to Mill. So we're going to go see if we can listen into the toss before we talk about the Essex Rebels, Aaliyah. Always an important thing. Obviously, no sun to worry about like our last Super League Live at Crystal Palace. No worry about
windows
necessarily.
Yes.
But obviously, Nathan Fullerton, Ewan Fraser, obviously, those of you that may not have seen, last time we were at Cobham, wasn't a Super League Live, Nathan Fullerton accelerated it and he obliterated the floorboard. You can actually see where it happened. There's a dark little panel. We'll talk about that later.
A little dent.
I know there's been some jokes this week about not putting dents in floorboards anymore. Always would help.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's just a little fun fact tidbit to add, though. What's
and for those of you at home that don't know what we're talking about, we have video prepped for it.
Yeah.
We will show you what happened. We want to call him Floor Wrecker Fullerton for a reason, and that was the reason. As our referee's just going through fine instructions, we'll see what happens. The coin hits the floor, so that's always a good start. I think we're playing a lap on the coin toss.
No good. Redo.
So Malory won the toss, elected to serve. Ewan thought about changing ends, but isn't going to change ends. So it will be a Malory first serve.
Yeah.
Aaliyah, always nice to win the toss, get an opening and win.
Yeah. I think it's a great first feeling of achievement, and then we're going right into warm-ups right now.
So you can see Malory a little bit of travel issues as well. Despite being the home team, Cobham not the easiest place to get to. Cancelled trains, so a couple of players late for warm-up. Interesting to see because when we were at Super League Live in Crystal Palace with that Giants game, Joel Martinez was late, came off the bench, and Malory started that game really slow. It was 19-6 in the first set. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those travel delays kind of just unforeseen. Ben Kwame was the last one in the building, so he's barely hitting
right at warm-up. I think just like you said, having a home game in quotes 2 hours away is a little tough, but early morning, we're all adults, and everybody got here, so we're just happy that everybody.
You're just happy you're on the second game of the doubleheader.
Exactly.
As teams obviously shaking hands, super important, and obviously these two sides, there's so many little rivalries in the rivalry. We'll talk about a couple of them, but it always feels like once you know players, there's a lot of healthy respect between these two teams, which is great for the Super League.
Yeah, I think seeing each other year after year, coaches, everybody, you gain respect for everybody, no matter what.
So obviously we talked about Malory. We'll talk about the Essex Rebels. And obviously it's the experience on the Essex bench that's almost the issue today. Jacob Kern obviously out for the season. We talked about that our last Super League Live in Essex. Hassan Physio's got a little bit of a niggle. They decided to kind of hold him out and look after him because of the schedule coming up. So talk about that. But now it's an important fact who can step up for Essex, and they're going to get an opportunity. Kyron Bowden, who's over our shoulder there, he's going to get the start. Obviously a new addition coming from the US Army and involved there, so he's a new addition. But the cut's been so important for this Essex team. The London Aces game and then the game last week in the semi-final, they're able to get Kyron reps. So if something happened, they could step up. So how important has being able to utilise the cup to get Kyron integrated into their system at Christmas?
I mean, I think warm-up is super important. I think just because I'm watching warm-up, obviously, like the reps in that warm-up is important. So for 15 to come in, I think with a new team, you know, he's going to be part of the lineup. There's injuries, there's people not playing, and I mean, if he gets to play, I think he needs to take every opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and the fact that they had a big week last week, Ewan Fraser, the head coach and captain, sat out for Rebels. They were able to jump on the line at Austin Person Hall, probably another one we're going to see. But talk about the psychology and the importance of the Essex Rebels. We talked all season how turbulent their season's been, losing the head coach and a replacement. And obviously Ewan came in, wasn't expected the head coach this season, and this is a team last year won championships, were in silverware finals all the year, and now you're fighting for a spot to even make the top four. So how important is it now that they can just reset a little bit and attack the new goal?
I mean, all those events that you're saying, it's like up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think on the brain, on like just mental toughness in general, I think as a team, the most important thing is to come together. I think like in all of these events, it's very easy to go apart and divide, but I think the most important part about being on a team is like coming together in adversity and pushing through.
Yeah, and obviously some of the younger additions, this is a very British court that's been built over the years. Well, as you talk about Thomas Shetman, Ben Butler, the libero, didn't get any court time last year, sat behind the best libero in the league. He's had a really solid season, leads the team in serve-receive rating. But the fact that they're developing so many British players, we talk about time and time again, it's that you'd have to take the pain in 1 year sometimes on a rebuild. And it feels like the Rebels team are starting to do that, and they're starting to find the form as they saw last time out. They pushed Newcastle to 5 sets. Yeah.
No, I think it's all about finding your identity as a team. I think there's obviously been a couple crises, but right now we're starting to see them balance it out and find that identity and what they want to show to the league.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here from courtside. We'll head up, get ready for commentary. We've got the Essex Rebels, the Malory Eagles, UEL, in about 8 minutes' time. First serve here from Cobham. So welcome back. We've moved up to our position here on the balcony as we're about 7 minutes away from opening serve. And Alir, we talked about downstairs the importance of games down the stretch. We're now going to have a look at the Super League table. Obviously Malory well cemented within that top four, but we talked about the importance, as you can see on the screen. The Essex Rebels have those 2 games in hand on Nottingham. They have to play each other on the last day of the season.
Yeah.
That's setting up for a potential thing. But also Malory have got their eyes on that top spot, tied with London Giants in terms of points, 3 points behind Newcastle with a game in hand. So 3-0-3-1 win for Malory today. They jump back to the top of the league. So you can just see how tightly compact all the races are. And obviously the relegation race at the bottom of the league as well. A lot will change in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a fight till the very end. I think that all those positions are very switchable and very any team can win on any day, and I think any team can win at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, and players just hitting through. So we're going to have a look at our ones to watch as we do every week, and we're going to start with Malory. And we've gone for the middle in Olaf's Matasenrox. Aaliyah, obviously you've seen Olaf's a lot. He's obviously kind of jumped around clubs a little bit, but this year he's really started to come into his own. He leads the Super League in blocking.
Yeah.
And how important is that for Malory to have that reliable, not necessarily the biggest hitter, but Olaf's game is all around that defense and helping the team on the back end out.
I mean, I think it's super important on that top, on the highest blocks per set with 1.1. I think it's obviously very clear that Malory's success is coming from a lot of Olaf's blocks, and that's being defensive at that front line, because we have a great defensive system at the back, but that first line is always going to be blocking. So I think that success on defense comes from that first line, which is Olaf in the middle.
Yeah, and it's interesting that necessarily it's not always the blocking side as well. Even when he doesn't get blocks, he just feels so much space as well, and it allows that back line. We obviously know how athletic Nathan Fullerton is in that back row. So for him, it's super important. But Malory's still got another gear to kick in with Olaf that we haven't quite seen the offensive output we've maybe seen in other years. So how important is it that they can really find him a few more attacking opportunities today as well?
Well, I mean, we've seen he's a consistent performer, just like you're saying. Respectable hit percentage and strong attack success rate. And then obviously on defense too, we've seen he has a decent number of digs and he's an active defender. I think just this experience over the last couple games makes him obviously the player to watch as we're talking about him, but I think getting him more options and experience on the offensive side in game is going to be super important for the team.
And obviously we'll flip over to the Essex Rebels side, and one that we haven't got to all year, and it kind of feels that we've left this a little bit late because of everything that's happened, but it is the captain, it is the head coach, it is Ewan Fraser, obviously Scottish international. We saw him party on the beach at Crystal Palace in the King and Queen of the Court as well, but Ewan's so integral, not just from his coaching side, but the ability for him on the right hand side, his experience. Obviously he can set a little bit out of system as well, but he's just got the experience in these games when you know who you're going up against. You know he's going to see a lot of Ben Kwame and stuff like that. It's going to be super important for Ewan to find ways to win points in different ways, and he's so articulate in the way he plays.
Yes. No, I think it's very clear that everybody can see his experience on the court when he plays. He capitalizes on scoring opportunities, and he's a reliable server. He puts a lot of pressure on other teams that he's playing. And I think it's really important that he's embraced the opposite position with his setter experience, both at Essex previously and professionally. But he's definitely a key player. His hitting percentage, .187, and attack success rate of 83.3%. I mean, he's a go-to.
And also leads the team in digs from the opposite position. You can see him having a little chat with Jacob Kern. Obviously, we talked about the absence of Jacob Kern. He is out for the season. Having a quick chat with Steve Smith. Obviously, just talking about lineups and how they're going to make sure they know that Ewan's going to call timeouts. But obviously, it's such a different role having to become a player coach. Like,
100%.
you're so much thinking. Obviously, he's got experience. Having Jacob, obviously, now on the bench with him is going to help, because Jacob's experience in the US, obviously winning the the National Cup last year, having that extra voice in your ear so you don't have to worry about everything when you're isolated sometimes as a player coach is super important for Ewan. And he's still got a ways to grow as a coach, but you can see the development of this team.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't really necessarily think it's a switch on and off. I think that one would be really hard, and two, I think it's necessary that he doesn't do that, because on the court, I mean, his teammates respect him as not only a teammate but also a coach, and I think that comes into play with both positions.
So you heard us talk about it downstairs. While the team's got a little bit of extra time through 4 to hit, we might as well show, we might as well get the cat out of the bag. When we were here last year, this was a Malory event. Nathan Fullerton takes off on this right-hand side. and this floor explodes under his foot on landing. Right there, you see the dent on the bottom left.
Yep.
No one initially realizes. I was watching this game. I was actually hosting for Malory this weekend, and I immediately realized, and you saw that when it was as well, 24-25 in the end of set 2. This led to a long delay, and the setup, as you can see here on the balcony, this is where we're filming from. They had to move the court from this show court onto one of the side courts. They played the rest of the match and then the women's match afterwards that way, but will we see it again?
I hope not. Honestly, we don't have time to be moving around like that. But yeah, it was a good break. I'm sure, good entertaining break.
So as teams head to the benches and get ready, Aaliyah, where is this game going to be won or lost? Where do you think this is the most important element of the game? If you're a coach, you're looking at this from obviously your side. Where do you think this game is going to be won or lost? Because obviously Malory won 3-0 when these two sides met early in the season, but we know this rivalry tends to produce 5-setters.
100%. I think for Essex to win, I think we need to cut service errors. There was 16 service errors last game. I think hitting efficiency would be important, and then targeting Malory's serve receive, because there are passing inconsistencies, especially with that lineup change. And then for Malory to repeat that W, I think maintaining their 84% serve percentage would be vital, and then keeping Essex out of system, and then continuing to spread the offense and avoiding becoming predictable is going to be super important.
So we've not seen lineup sheets, so we're going to kind of make this up as we go, but starting 7 for Essex at least ready to go on the floor. They're going to start with number 9 Sam Sherwin, number 27 Rafa Vian, the 2 through the middle. Ewan Fraser, the head coach, we talked about him, on the opposite position. Number 1 Nathan Hall will set, number 3 Ben Butler in the libero position, and then the 2 outsides will be number 17 Tom Schudderman. And then, as we talked about downstairs, without Hassan, it will be Kyron Bowden stepping into the Rebels lineup. He's changed jersey numbers just to throw us off a little bit more. He will wear Jacob Kern's old jersey, ironically. So he will wear 15 as Jefferson Williams
Still
just
deciding.
giving final instructions. Well, the lineup card's in, so he has decided. Sadly for us, we don't know, but what we do know is they will go through the middle with Olaf Matusenok wearing 12 and Dylan Cohen wearing 18. Nathan Fullerton, number 8, and Felipe Rodriguez, the libero, will wear 3. Joel Martinez will set wearing number 6. And then it looks like it will be number 5, Ben Kwame, and then they've gone with the option of Ian Chow in the other outside position. Ian Chow wearing number 1. So Ian Chow getting the start. I did see some court time in the Cup quarterfinal against Newcastle Stuffs last week. But Ian's had an up and down season. He's struggled a little bit for consistency, but when you're in and out of the lineup, it's not the easiest thing to do. No. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on him to deliver early, but because obviously there's so many options on the bench, and he'll want some momentum going in. Because when we've seen him at his best this season, he's had some big games.
100%. And I think coming into this game especially, I think he's going to come out with a bang, as everybody wants to.
I'm sure I heard Nathan Fullerton say he was going to serve when we were at the toss, but
I also heard that as well.
Essex are serving. So it is Kyron Bowden to get us underway here at Super League Live. Ben Kwame misses the line on the first shot. Ewan Fraser stood right on it, made sure that was wide of his right foot, and Kwame misses on the opening swing attempt for the Eagles. Chow, perfect three-point pass, and Fullerton goes on the cross court. Better for Malory pushing the ball out, but again, talked about Ian Chow there. First ball, perfect.
Yeah, very calm, very steady, just what we need.
So it'll be Nathan Fullerton back to serve for Malory. Goes with the big jump serve, clips the net tape. And that's annoying when you're in that back line.
I think that's the most hated serve right there, right off the tape, dribbling off.
And Nathan's always one of those high risk, high reward for Malory, and it's interesting that he's mixed it up a little bit more this year. He's still struggling to really find his best serve on the service line, as that one is hammered into the seam.
Straight through the seam, libero and Tom.
Back-to-back aces for Nathan Fullerton. Does lead the Malory team with 13 aces on the season coming in today. 31 service errors though. and just a 71% success rate on the serve. So potential chance that anything will follow is an error.
Yay.
But instead, you get
there we
three
go.
aces.
3, 3, 3.
And it's interesting, he's changed up direction. The first one obviously clipped the net tape, but we know where he was going.
Yes,
He's going
yeah.
line. Second one, he hits the seam. Third
We're
one
going
now goes
fully cross court.
So we'll see where serve goes. Another one. Does he change it up, go hybrid? Indeed, he takes some off, but Butler there to read. Rafa Vian down the middle, blocked by Dylan Cohen, and Malory win 4 in a row.
Yep.
So little service run for Nathan Fullerton. Does he change it up and go cross court? Tries to go line again, that time into net. If you're going to make a service error when you've won 4 in a row on serve,
do it
it's
after
always
4.
good. As Vian,
All right, we have an overpass.
and Sherwin buries the middle. Ian Chow punished for the pass. That was way over the net on the 3-meter line, and Essex really clinical. And Rafa Vian is so solid down the middle, leads the Essex Rebels with a 381 hitting percentage as well as the blocking totals as well. So important to get him an early swing. He'll now go back to the service line, however, on the middle rotation.
And it's important to take care of those free balls just like they just did.
Not Rodriguez calls off Martinez. Little bump set, but Ben Kwame really smart. Didn't go huge, just took some pace off of that, dying in front of Bowden in the back row.
Right into the thumbs. Didn't look like there was a block either. I don't know if the block went up based on that roll.
No, I think it was far off the bump set as well. That Rebels maybe been a bit more defensive, but not able to get there now. Ben Kwame finds Tom Shutterman. Great pass by Shutterman. He'll get it back. Tries to go aggressive tip, but well read by Malory. Now Chow on the left.
Off the block. Going to Tom again on the outside.
And again, both teams getting block touches early. Back set. Fullerton has to stop
Another
behind
roll.
the 3-meter line. And
There we
pull
go.
aggressive.
Jump is picked up.
And Shutterman eventually shut down by the block. Martinez and Cohen combining, and Malory getting so many block touches, Ali, and eventually find the kill. But if Essex Rebels going to have to work this hard to win points, it's going to be a long afternoon.
100%. I think we're going to see a lot of rallies like that, and now comes a timeout from Essex.
So early timeout for Ewan Fraser as we get to see the Rebels in that huddle. And you can see Nathan Hall there just having a quick chat with Jacob Kern, and now Ewan Fraser going in and talking about it. And it's about potentially trying to change angles a little bit. This block's been so aggressive for Malory. We've got so many block touches that maybe you need to go a little bit more away. Obviously, we saw the tip kind of get put up as well, but you wonder if that's an area the Rebels will try and push through, is go for a few more touches, go for maybe a bit of a sharper angle as well.
Yeah, no, I think the versatility in kills is super important. We've seen Ben do the roll. We've seen the tips. We've seen the try to tools. I think that's going to be super important for all those options.
As we had a problem with the internal score. Well, that's now fixed. There's a backup on the table as well, but now people on our side of the venue can actually see the score. As Nathan Hall tries to set up the middle again, but not quite well timed up. And Chow goes into the smaller block of Nathan Hall, gets the kill. We did see Nathan Hall early in the season with the famous standing block kill.
Yep. And you guys can also see that on Instagram as well.
Indeed you can, as Ben Kwame going aggressive. Again, Malory's serve's been on point early.
Would have been a solo block, but out of bounds from Ian Chang.
Then you can see Fraser trying to really keep that tight to the antenna as well on the 3-meter 10 ball. And Nathan Hall now back to serve for the Rebels. One of those that he's more ball in play, doesn't make many errors as Kwame attacks Sherwin on the pipe. Has the one-on-one Sam Sherwin, but can't press enough on the right-hand side as Kwame tried to tap that back angle seam. And that'll be Dylan Cohen who missed a large part of the season through the first half of the year with a thumb injury, sustained on opening day in the opening set, as Fraser is shut down by Matthew Senox, and that's why he's been the one to watch. His timing of the block and the ability to get out is so crucial.
100%. We're seeing exactly what we just talked about.
And it's a second decision from Nathan Hall. Matthew Senox was so far already over on that right-hand side. Didn't have far to go. He gets there again, that time off the antenna by Ewan Fraser. He tugs the net of frustration, and it's just not clicking offensively for the Rebels. And it's an 11-4 lead for Malory, who have done well to keep the error rate down. Gone through their two big servers in Kwame and Fullerton in terms of aggressiveness.
Yep, this looks like the same efficiency we've seen in that first sweep. But
there's the commentator's jinx if you ever needed it. No errors, and then the basic error of all time, stepping on the court while serving. No can do.
No can do.
Is that a fine in the club for stepping on the baseline on serve? If not, as Martinez goes with the interesting bump set to Fullerton, but Fullerton shot him in on the back row. That was not an easy swing. Probably not Joel Martinez's best setting decision of the season, but Nathan Fullerton found the way.
Yep, figured it out. It's all about adaptability.
So now Martinez himself back to serve, the highest serve rating on this Malory team, as Fraser goes with the tip and Ian Chow goes into the net.
Yep.
And we talked about it in the timeout, would Essex change something? Ewan Fraser electing there to go to that role. So Sam Sherwin, again, you can see Rebels really trying to target Chow. He goes into the block, recycled possession. Vian way out of position, but Chow gets it back. Yep. And Bowden was in position, but couldn't quite direct it down enough. Ball squirting off out to the left. As Leia Borovec and Ari Sierra, former Rebels teammates, see each other and go for the quick hug.
Quick catch up before meeting again on the court.
I wonder if Leia's going to tell Ari the news that I know that I won't yet reveal. As Fraser finds the angle on the cross court, pegs that back corner. There's a little touch on it as well, but that one out the hands of Ian Chow. And it seems a lot right now with no Hassan. Tom Shutman's not really been in this game. It's very heavy reliant on Ewan Fraser.
Yep.
Anyone thought I'd done my research for once to watch today. And here is the Rebels.
We got a tight pass.
Big pancake from Fraser. Rebels going to get it over, but 3-ball Eagles. Kwame goes tight on the angle, and Bowden doesn't peel off the net. Cover the cross-court angle well enough, and he gets beat on the 3-meter line.
Ben does a very good job of switching up his offensive strategies.
But that's one really he trained as an outside to pull off the net there, cover that angle.
100%.
So a little bit of a defensive error.
Off blocker defense, just as important.
Bowden gets a chance to kill, and he does off the top of the net. Beats Martinez over the top of the net tape. He looked like he was in good position. That ball just accelerating over and up the hands.
Right over the head. And
the Rebels hanging around a little bit. They've steadied the Malory momentum. They've still got to find a service run to get back into this. As we've gone through one full rotation, it's a 14-8 Malory lead.
That's a great up. Little trouble at the net. Then we see Nathan going deep and landing right on that line.
And you always know it's in when there's no argument from the player 100%. Chasing it down. That was the Essex attempt. Let us know where you're watching from. And don't forget to share the link to anyone watching as well. One of 3 Super League Lives in back-to-back weekends that we will bring you as the season comes to closures. Fullerton, great pass by Butler considering. Shut him in over the triple block. Has to go Roland Martinez. Pings one, goes aggressive. Finds the kill. It's kill number 9 only on the season for Joel Martinez. But that one just sat in the pocket, inviting to be hit.
Yep. And I think whenever we see a setter get a kill, it's just amazing to see.
The second most fun thing after the libero.
100%.
as Fullerton again going big, but great job by the Rebels, but they can't quite time up that third pass. Fullerton from the 10 ball misses the line. Chloe Allen says there's a touch. Tom Shudderman agrees. Chloe was like, I think it wasn't the most convincing call, but when Tom Shudderman nods his head, no argument, easy as you like. Oh, in fact, I think there's a little drip in just one small part of the court.
We see some plastic bags at the top as well.
As Fullerton goes into the net. As correct, people at home, that it is a, it is still the first set.
Back-to-back missed serves. Can't afford to lose points. I mean, give up points just like this. It's a donation.
Indeed, and we are still fully in control for Malory's. We fixed our little scoreboard. She's 18-9 to the Eagles as Kwame tries to get right one to dip, but just misses the baseline on that one. Kwame struggling this season, normally have been a reliable service, probably served better for the university than he has for Malory. Just 4 aces on the season for Kwame coming in, 28 service errors, make that 29. As Chow gets that, all levels are wrong, that's a blooper.
Yep. Little too late.
He won't want to see that one again.
Nope.
And great to see some of you have, including the King family, who are on their drive up, well, across from home over to Cobham to watch later. As that's another overpass, but Martinez does a terrific job fending that off as Rebels tried to go quick, and now it's a recycle. Rodriguez, Chow, not a lift, as Chow went with one hand and a closed fist. Another roll as Cohen has to play it off the net. Malory's defense staying alive, but Chow goes aggressive and finds the net for the error. But Malory really making the Rebels trying to earn points, and Jefferson Williams not quite happy with things and the aggressive nature, and calls the timeout with the Rebels at 18-12 and immediately having that conversation with his outside Ian Chow.
Yeah.
Very quick from Jefferson, obviously super experienced coaching staff on the Malory sideline. Andrew Olmashemi, Ian Legrand, and the New England permanent head coach, Carol Gordon.
Yep.
That got announced about 10 days ago. Congratulations to Carol on that one. Obviously Ian will be assisting as well. So 18-12. As Malory struggling, Cohen goes one-handed. Chow able to keep it alive. Fullerton back row, but a bit more of a roll. As Shudderman gets absolutely roofed. Dylan Cohen and Joel Martinez, I think, on that right-hand side. Aaliyah, let's watch this one again. Not for the first time and not for the last. Perfectly timed up, and this right-hand blocking unit of Malory have caused all sorts of problems. As Sherwin beats Fullerton on the quick ball down the middle, much better by the Rebels. That change in tempos definitely helped Rebels throughout the season. We're going to see a bit of a change as Oscar Curzon Hall's going to come in wearing 5. He'll replace Kyron Bowden. Now, we'll see what Rebels do. Oscar can play outside and opposite, so probably will start on the outside, but we'll see what Rebels do on that serve-receive unit. As Shudderman takes some off that. Martinez scrambling, going to bump set Chow, goes aggressive cross, well dug up, and great positioning by Ben Butler. As Martinez again scrambling to keep the rallies alive. Ben Butler not of great first contact. Fraser into the bench, and Malory will earn the free ball. Martinez, Matu Senox, kick save, but that goes out. That was nearly ludicrous by Ewan Fraser. And the Malory Eagles move into the Magic 20s. 2013, the Malory leaders, they look to close in on set number 1. As that one well judged by Martinez. Sorry, by Curzon Hall in the lineup. Just no dip on it at all. Just stayed flat the whole time by Martinez. Not quite getting under the ball enough. As we're going to see a serving sub for the Rebels. As Sam Sherwin's on, takes a break, and in wearing
Great
19
float
is
serve.
Avery Kalos, and we see why he's a serving sub, but it doesn't matter as Fullerton.
Put it away, right to that deep corner.
And then Malory's offense has been varied in this first. Obviously, it's been led by the defense. Obviously, Fullerton's serving run, and he's been a little bit heavy in terms of contact, but Chow and Kwame have all chipped in a little bit. As Chow, Butler, and Rafa Viana has to touch it, and Oscar Curzon Hall sends that one into the bleachers.
Almost straight to us.
I mean, where's Ari? She probably could have dug that one from the bleachers. Oh no, she's in front of us. No, maybe not. As Chow, that one closer, that one off the top of the net, but straight back, nearly taking Olaf Metasenux in the head. 6 serving errors, and Rebels have won 15 points.
Telling you, it's a donation. It's a charity at this point.
As Metasenux, good dig by Shudderman, but it's another free ball. Rebels frustrated that Oscar Curzon Hall didn't take a swing, and that's a 3-meter line violation on Ian Chow. Another error for the Eagles. So Fraser goes heavy topspin. Rodriguez just about gets there, diving to get it. Shut him in with a ridiculous dig. Perfect pass for Hall. Curzon Hall tries to play for hands and doesn't get it. But that was a huge pickup from Tom Shutterman in the back row.
Yep.
As that one misses the line by Matthew Senox. Another service error from Malory. Obviously, we've had that service run with 4 aces, but since then it's all been downhill. As Oscar Curzon Hall used in that sub, but also interestingly, you can tell that sub, it went with a bit more blocking height with Curzon Hall. Now Bowden back on to serve and play back row. A little bit more mobile defensively. As Chow, Martinez, ridiculous save. Staying legal on that. Rafa Vian couldn't quite time it up, but it's a net touch by Dylan Cohen. As Martinez did really well to get to that set. That was super tight, but outside the internals, felt like he could make a bit of contact with the umpire's chair on the far side. As Steve Smith happy he wasn't knocked over in the process. And Bowden goes into the net and brings up 6 set points for Malory. I think. I'm pretty sure we're correct, but Fullerton goes topspin, no error this time. Shut him in, off the hands, Chow nearly gets there, but it's a nice little momentum booster for the Rebels. Tom Shutman's really struggled as the Rebels complete that serving sub, making the change after the rotation rather than before. That has caught some teams out in the past in the Super League, not to mention anything that may have happened at Crystal Palace last year in the Final Four. As Rafa Vian finds Kwame, set point Malory missed by Cohen again, and the Rebels staying alive and just flipping the momentum a little bit since that early run that Malory was 7-2 up. It's been very back and forth.
Yeah. And Malory just needs this side out score.
As our officials just confirming the score is correct with the Rebels bench, which we believe it is, so we're all happy. Just a bit of a lag on the big scoreboard that you can see on your screen. As Martinez, aggressive, trying to get to Cohen from beyond the 3-meter line, doesn't connect, and Fraser has no blockers and punishes the Malory team, and Jefferson Williams calls timeout. Not happy with what he's seen from his side.
Yeah, I think Essex is showing strength in attack right now and strength in offense, which we haven't seen. They're kind of turning it on right now. Slowly trimming that lead.
Indeed, and it's always important, like we talk about, especially with these two teams, we know they're going to be evenly matched, but momentum can flip so quickly. But now the Rebels have really just started to solidify themselves. They've got a foothold in this game. So it's like, even if this set goes the way we expect it to go at this point, being 24-20, that Malory aren't in a comfortable position compared to how they would have been a little bit early in this set, and felt like the Rebels have got to make an adjustment. Now the Rebels are just really just solidly in control, and they'll feel comfortable going into set 2.
Yeah.
So no coach's point as Rafa Mian makes the serve. Kwame into the block. Felipe Rodriguez, lib kill for the set. We talk what's better than a setter kill in the pregame, or how about a libero kill for the set nonetheless too.
Right off of one hand too. Great cover.
We'll have a look at that one again. You can see, and there's Ari Sierra, a couple of rows in front of us celebrating the kill. You'll see her pop up on the screen, but diving to his left, there's the libero.
Everybody's looking at each other. Everybody's looking at each other on Essex's side. Those are the most important points too. Everybody could take it, but nobody did.
So we'll have a look at the stats from set 1, and really it's Malory, 32 attacks, just 4 errors, 10 kills. It's not been the most efficient, so just hitting 310 in the opening quarter. Essex hitting 380, but it's the other errors. Malory got points from the serve, obviously. 3 aces from Nathan Fullerton, despite the service errors, but the blocking's been the difference between these two sides. So many block touches. How can Essex overcome that in set 2?
I mean, I think just like we're seeing in Ben's game, just the versatility and the options that you can play offensively and using that at the net. I think we've seen tips and rolls and cutties and obviously swings, but I think switching it up in terms of going against Olaf and Dylan and everybody is going to be super important.
So Nathan Fullerton with 8 points in set number 1, compared to just 9 points for the Essex Rebels. So that's how many errors Malory made in the end. Obviously 7 serving errors, 4 attack errors, so 11 errors just on that alone for Malory. So it's definitely things for this Eagles team to tighten up. As the referee just double checking and getting new line judges happy and on court. It's going to be a couple of your teammates. There's one perk of commentary. You don't have to do any flagging today. No one can hate you from calls that are correct or incorrect, depending on your opinion at the time.
100%. I get really scared to do that. I don't like the barking that comes after a call.
As you see, Malory in the huddle over to our left. A couple of the hitters just keeping warm as well. As we will see if Abdi Malik Shikori will make his Malory debut. He's definitely on the team list. I suppose it's a debut, but he'd quite like to play, quite like to get on court on your first appearance.
Especially against this team.
Yeah, it's a team Abdi obviously knows well. Moving over from Richmond. Big loss for the Richmond Docklands at the back end of the season. We will see them on Super League Live next week at the Score in Leighton. I believe that's 1:15 first serve next Saturday in Leighton. As part of a double header, we will have the Nottingham Richmond game and then side out hosting against Leeds. 1:45, I was close enough, but 1:45 next week at the Score in Leighton. As Malory finishing their warm-up protocols. As it looks like they will go unchanged. So Chow, Martinez, Matusenox, Fullerton, Cohen, Kwame and Rodriguez. And for the Rebels, same starting 7 as well. So it'll be Hall, Vian, Shudderman, Fraser, Bowden. I want to keep calling him Kern. I want to see the name on the back of his jersey, but it's not Kern. Sherwin and Butler. As I think Ewan Fraser maybe getting a little bit time delay verbal warning, a little bit late handing in his lineup sheet.
Yeah, I think going into this set, I think the team who dominates the service game and keeps their errors low is going to have a significant advantage in setting the tempo of this these next couple sets. I think Malory's stronger serve game combined with their blocking gives them an edge in controlling rallies early on, but Essex's aggressive attacking could quickly turn the tide if they reduce their errors and capitalize on their offensive chances.
So Malory moving the serve rotation around a little bit. Matusenox to get us underway, and Rafa Vian just misses the baseline. But again, Essex serve receives not been tested a ton because of Malory errors, but also been a little bit inconsistent. So something the Rebels will want to just tighten up. Obviously did a much better job after those early runner aces. That one tight, and Vian makes no mistake. Isolation against Ben Kwame, using the height advantage to go up and over the block. And it's now 1-all early on in set number 2. First game of the doubleheader. We will have the Malory Essex women later on this afternoon, as that one is overpassed, dug up by Chow. Shutman thought he had the point. As Fraser goes cross court, dug up by Martinez, out of system, bump set, Rodriguez, the libero, stepping in. Shutterman gets the call of 2, goes to the roll. And Kwame off the net cord, great defense by the Rebels, but that's a 4th touch. And Malory win a big rally, longest rally of the day. Not the most clinical, but both teams scrapping as these two teams often do.
Yep.
Might make some defensive highlights, but it definitely won't win the highlight for prettiest point of the season.
No. But just because it isn't clean doesn't mean it doesn't work.
That one isn't clean. Another service error by Nathan Fullerton. That one bouncing back into the head of Dylan Cohen. And that will allow Nathan Hall, the setter, to rotate. Nathan Hall has really grown into his role as Kwame met through the legs of Butler after Fraser tried to line up. I think there's a little touch on it, but that one ended up going through Ben Butler's defenses. Don't know if he was ever going to make the dig, but never great to be nutmegged.
Yep.
At least you're in vaguely the right position.
One step up next time.
Kwame aces.
There we go.
Bowden down the line. Fraser was on that angle, but trying to step off the court to give a bit of a sight line to his outside. But perfect placement by Kwame. And into the spectators. That one nearly taking off the head of Chloe Allen. And Fraser happy the antennae in the right position. Maybe just a little 1 meter bed, just take off that tiny little bit of angle he might attack. We'll see what Kwame does again. This time goes roll, but rolls it halfway into the net, and the Malory service has not been on point.
No.
And the Essex Rebels are quite happy not to see the ball over the net. As Martinez to Cohen, and Sherwin able to get there. Not the most emphatic block, but Sherwin staying with Cohen, not getting too overdrawn on the set. And Jacob Kern, not a listed coach, so can't get up and talk. Just told by our second official. As Fullerton from the 10, Nathan Hall, shoulder, and that one over the bench. Tom Shudderman able to jump over the bench, but not also play the ball. And Nathan Fullerton again attacking from the back row, such a weapon from the back row, one of the best back row hitters in the Super League.
It's impressive to be able to do that not only in the front row, but also 10 feet off.
As Cohen finds Shulamit Hall, has to recycle. Sherwin goes inside out, keeps the ball in play. Matusenok's misconnection with Martinez. Couldn't quite time it up, and that's the weakness in that Olaf's game, is he hasn't ever quite settled this season with Martinez.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of whiffs. That timing is always so hard to get, but I think with middles it's especially hard with the options that they have to hit.
As Kwame, Martinez out to the 3. Chow into the block. Matusenok's able to be there on the cover, but it'll be a 3-ball Essex Rebels to take the lead in the set. Fraser misses. And touch called
By Ava.
by Ava Kudalek on the far side. Referee initially went to the oval, but Matusenok's confirmed there was a touch on it as well. So Rebels in the lead, 6-5, set number 2. Fullerton from way beyond the 3-meter line. Bowden goes tip, and that one lands on the line. He saw it. He was well in off the net, so wasn't in a perfect position to try and replay that tip shot, and that one landing directly onto the red line. And red is good for the Malory Eagles.
Yep.
As Martinez clears the tape, Hall has to scramble out to that right side. Fraser again looking for the tip. Again, perfectly called by the line judge. The referee wanting to not go. Ewan Fraser not happy.
No.
But the line judge there can't argue anything about that. And that's why we have line judges, to help out. Another set of eyes. As Fraser picks out Chow. Block touch this time by the Rebels, but Shutterman's first contact not good. Fraser flying in, no touch on that one.
Oh, we're joking around now. We're joking around.
There is a touch.
Oh. I thought we were joking.
Hold on, what's happening here? Ava,
we're getting a line judge sub. Line judge sub.
Is the head coach allowed to call for the replacement? Are you allowed to? I don't know what the rule is on this. Get your rule book out. Put it this way, she can't be accused of being biased for the team that she plays for.
Right.
Because she's given 3 touches in a row. We're going to see what's happening here. This is interesting. I've never seen in this position before. Referee doesn't want the line judge changed. And it's an Essex Rebels point. We're going to need forensic analysis on these touches. Well, some of them we didn't.
I know.
Some of them were. That one did feel tight. Can Malory settle in? Well,
there we go.
Don't need a line judge for that one.
And that's how you return after that.
Let's look at that one again. That was miles in. Now, does Ava lose court time in the game later for upsetting the head coach?
Little retaliation right there.
Hall, Fraser, definitely a touch on that one.
Big touch. Hold that up, Ava, hold that up.
The Essex Rebels girls loving that one over to the left-hand side.
Same thing right there. Kwame just finishing that.
If it ain't broke,
don't
fix. Different hitter, same result. Matusenok's tight. Oh, I think that was over. Good call. I think that was over. And it was rescued on the wrong side by Nathan Hall. As Matusenok sets Fullerton into the block, and Martinez goes for the dig and just completely whiffs.
Yep.
Let's have a, well, we'll have a look at that. I don't think John Martinez will want this on replay. He just is there and just doesn't
sees
play the ball.
Nathan, but then pulls back. It's that hesitation that kills sometimes.
As Kwame tries to play that overhanded, a little bit tight, but Dylan Cohen gets tricky.
Yep.
Little touch as well, but does a really good job of rearranging to just find an angle.
Yeah, Frazier was going forward, and Cohen threw that right to the deep corner. I think as the game gets tighter and tighter, these emotions are getting higher and higher. We can see that on both sides and with both coaching staffs or benches.
As Fullerton into the net, having had 3 aces to start the game, he's backed it up with about 300 errors.
Yep. That inconsistency is just, it's really hard to play a game like that when this is the start of each rally, and it just is cut off.
And you always don't mind 3 points.
Right.
As Cohen, no 3-point there, blocked by the Rebels, but recycled. Fullerton misses on the cross court. Just a little bit wide, trying to find that back corner of one. As Kwame into the block. That's off the head of Ian Chow, I think. It went over anyway.
Great cover.
And great cover, but not great defense off the back end of it.
No.
All that hard work for absolutely nothing except watching the ball hit the floor. Jefferson Williams ready to call timeouts. Indeed he does. And the Malory Eagles.
We're seeing a slowing down of Malory's tempo. A lot of hesitation on defense, a lot of balls dropping.
And for a team that's normally on point defensively, it's a little bit uncharacteristic. You wonder if they're trying to just overthink rather than just playing on instinct a little bit. Obviously, again, trying to work different things through. And you can see there the line judges, Emily Fellow, and they could having a little bit of a chat. Probably Emily giving some stick to her teammate that she had to make all those calls in a row. And she's had a fairly quiet end down this end.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a bit of luck of the draw. As I think the intercom system not quite working for the officials. So they look like they're coming off. So we'll do it the old-fashioned way if they want to have a chat. Have to go up and over to the other side. As Nathan Hall off the timeout, 13-10 Rebels lead, trying to tie us up at 1 set all. Pass low, dug up by Shudderman, and it's going to be a free ball as Nathan Hall's chase doesn't go, and Ian Chow's going to get called for a lift. I think it's very difficult to get a lift nowadays.
Debut is coming.
Because it's an internal touch. They've not called it a double touch, which is why they've got away with it, but we haven't seen many of them all season long as a lift on a set, on a two-handed set at that. And as Aaliyah Raffat said, that is Ian Chow, at least for now, done, as Cohen way inside the line. And we get a debut for Abdi Malik Shakuri for the Eagles, wearing number 4. Will go in on that left-hand side. Has been with Malory about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks at this point. As Kwame, that one nearly hitting the bottom of the net tape. And all I see over on my right-hand side is a shake of the head. Error number 11.
Yeah.
Third for Kwame.
Yeah, I think we saw in the last matchup, I think Essex gave away way too many free points from the service line, but now we're seeing a complete reversal of that.
Indeed. As the Essex Rebel women, not having any confidence as a men's team, decide to go get changed midway through set 2. Shut him in, overpass, Matthew Senox, patient, and Nathan Hall not alive to it early enough to put a block up. As that one hits the back line, Shudderman calls it in. And maybe the Essex Rebels women knew something we didn't up here in the commentary booth. They've gone to get changed, and all of a sudden Malory a couple of points in a row, and they're back in this set. 14-15. Now Malory trying to find a third to tie us up as Cohen into the net as a speaker connected and bleep midway through his swing. Number 12, I believe, on the day. But again, I suppose if you're going to make an error at some point, do it when you've made an ace. That is just ace number 5 for the season for Dylan Cohen. Error number 9 on the year. That one off the net tape. Matthew Senox has to play it, but finds a 3-point pass. And Shikori wins his first point as a Malory Eagle. Beats the double block of Fraser and Vian, and we'll get to see that one again. The block was well timed, Aaliyah. It was all there, but Shikori going tight, and Ewan Fraser saying it hit him so low down because that
right
only just cleared the tape.
That setter hitter embrace is so important too on his first kill.
Shut him in, beats Rodriguez, taking the pace off it on the roll. Felipe just maybe a little bit too deep. And the Rebels continue to hold this lead they've had since the early part of the set, and there's a rare error by Ewan Fraser. He hits the net tape. Says I think he just got the ball lost a little bit, just mistimed the connection. And now Abdi Malik Shikori will head back to the service line. And he pegs his first serve about a metre inside the line. Bowden leaves it, but that one way in. And an ace for Abdi. We are tied at 17 apiece. He had 7 aces with his spell in Richmond as Vienne dug up by Rodriguez. Kwame has to cycle out to the pin. Bowden, Rodriguez goes from up to under to make the dig on it. Early call by the Eagles, and Kwame goes over the top of the block. No one in 6. And the Malory Eagles come from multiple points down. And they take the lead 18-17 in set number 2. As another service error. Feels almost like we'd win money if we bet on a service error every serve. We'd be rich.
Maybe every other, maybe 2 in between.
Get 50-50 odds. We'd be doing great. As another service error. We've just the feeling of service errors just has started to catch up, and the Essex Rebels have gone, and we'll have some of this too. And actually, down the stretch of the cup final last year, there was a lot of service errors in the 5th set of that final till Jacob Cohen came through with a couple of big kills. So these two sides do sometimes like to trade errors as Nathan Hall goes cheeky tip. That one right over the middle of the net, and he got there just in time. Great instincts by Hall. So Rafa Vian, that one over the baseline. I suppose it's a different type of service error, but nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know how to serve in volleyball, don't watch this game because the teams aren't showing you much despite the experiences. Malory go for a setter change. Sona Yasha coming into the lineup for Martinez. We've seen this a lot. Sona a little bit better of a blocker, a bit more height. Essex going to go away from that, but recovery out as Fullerton gets blocked, but not blocked in the red line.
Nope.
That one creeping out by Sherwin and Shuterman.
We've got that reassurance for Yashar coming from Jeff. Oh, and now we have a timeout taken by Essex. Sets are getting tight.
21-19, 2-point Malory lead. First time out for Ewan Fraser. Might as well use it now. You're not going to carry him into set 3. You get 2. But again, this is the depth of the Malory team. This is the one thing that they've had. We talked about in the pregame the outside battle, but they've been able to change it up a couple of times. Obviously, Sonner's come in as a setter, but he's had a really good serving season as well. Hasn't missed a serve yet this season for Malory. Has 86 assists on 171 attempts as well, and has been an integral part. He's come in as more of that height change as a blocker, but we know when he's needed to set, he's been effective, and it hasn't been a lot of drop-off when he has set compared to Martinez, which is great reassurance for Jefferson Williams when he needs to change the tempo of the game.
100%. And normally, sometimes there's a double sub coming in.
As Fullerton, no coach's point. Bowden pushes Shuterman out, has to go with a long ball out to Fraser, and Fraser connects with the net. And Malory Eagles 22-19 up and now in control of the set. As some of you pointed out in the chat, maybe the extra oversight we temporarily had saying a second set to Malory was foreshadowing. And it seems like that we may have got that right, but can the Rebels respond? Shuterman. Tight ball. Yash goes with it, but Fraser puts it over. Sonner saw what Joel Martinez did earlier. This time can't find the floor, and that out too tight for Shuterman. Fullerton. Shuterman well dug up by Kwame. I don't know how he quite read that. Sherwin dug up by Shukri. This is the rally of the game. And Kwame wins it for Malory. The defense on point, but it all came from Kwame. Shuterman went early after the exchange at the net, and it was dug up beautifully. And that's the experience of probably Kwame knowing Shuterman's game. He knows what he might go to out of system. And Ewan Fraser says enough's enough. Timeout yet again.
That back and forth rally, whoever's winning that point is really getting a huge boost of adrenaline, especially right at the end of this set.
Sonner, Yasha able to find a way to keep it alive, and again, they're the frustrating ones to the Rebels team. They're the ones you need when you're late in a set, and maybe the difference between this year's and last year's team. Last year's team found ways to win scrappy points, and it's not quite connected this year for the Rebels, and that's why they're in a massive fight for the Final Four. 11th and 12th of April at Crystal Palace. Tickets are on sale via the Volleyball England website, and it'd be great to have over 500 fans in attendance at the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre last year.
And last time these two teams were only separated by 2 points in back-to-back sets. So composure is everything here.
As Fraser's error count now starting to roll. He's not quite connecting from the right-hand side, and Malory Eagles have 5 set points from, what was it, 17-14 down, I believe. As Fullerton makes another service error. Set 1 point saved. And it'll be in the hands of Nathan Hall. As we said, not really going to put much service pressure on, but he's also not going to give this set away. Just 3 errors on the season for Hall. Cohen plays it aggressively. Yasha goes with the Bulgarian tip. Shuterman is rejected for the set by Yasha. And there's the blocking sub coming in.
There it is. There's that height.
And we'll see that one again as Malory close out back-to-back sets with block kills. Shuterman had the angle of that ball just too far off to take for him, and the block able to get there and find the kill. And we'll have a look at the stats. Massive thanks to Josh Holdworth, who is helping us out once again. And in set number 2, much better by Malory in terms of percentage, a lot better on the execution. It felt like they're a bit more in system in that set. And again, just a clean set. They got blocked a couple of times, but 27 swings, just 2 errors in that set for Malory. They're still struggling from the service line and list. 7 errors again in that set. That's 14 service errors in 2 sets.
Yep. 14 points.
As Ben Kwame had 6 points in that set for the Malory Eagles. And onto the Rebels again. Just not super efficient. They've not got much going offensively. Just 8 kills in the set in the end. 5 errors on 27 swings. And just 10 points. And Malory keeping the errors and keeping the Rebels in the game with the errors rather than Rebels really earning stuff. And that's obviously missing Hassan is a big part of that. But it just feels like the Rebels have just kind of not, because the passing's not been great, they've never quite got the system going. They've not really been able to find the middles, and it's become a little bit predictable. The ball's really only going to Fraser or Shutterman, and Malory have done a good job adjusting. So if you're Essex, what can you do to change? As
we've got some people talking about Ava's reffing right now.
Really? Yeah, it wasn't talking about. I was looking for her. I was see if we could get a guest interview.
I know.
But I can't find her.
I just was thinking that too, actually. But I think she just ran.
Probably ran to hide because you know what's coming from a
I
head
saw
coach.
her. I think she's getting a talking to from Sophie. Maybe an intro to line judging.
I mean, I don't think she got any of the calls wrong. That's
I don't
the best
think
bit
so
about
either.
it. Maybe she was just hiding from Jefferson Williams for another set. As Ewan Fraser's lineup card goes in. And we'll interesting to see what Malory do. Do they go with, it looks like they are going to go with the setting change.
Yep.
Obviously, Abdi starting is pretty self-explanatory after how they ended that set. But interesting they're going with giving another opportunity. And again, just a different style for Malory. And again, teams at this stage of the season, at some point, not everyone's going to play well. You need to rely at some point, how can you change the game? And it's another opportunity with the doubleheader coming up. A lot of games going to come in a short period of time just to mix up things for Malory.
Yeah. And I think those changes were super important in that set. We saw a boost of adrenaline coming from Malory.
So, 2 sets, both to 24. The Eagles, one felt a lot different to the other. Can the Rebels respond, or are they going to be blanked against the Eagles this year for the first time in a very, very long time? Obviously, this is also a preview of something we're going to see in 3 weeks. The National Cup semi-finals, Malory Eagles drawn at home to the Essex Rebels.
Yep.
On the men's side, the other men's semi-final, Richmond Docklands will play the London Giants. On the women's side, Malory will travel up to Darkstein, a rematch of last year's semi-final, and then the Durham Palatinates with the rough end of the draw. We can't take it any other way. They have another trip down to London, having defeated London Giants last time out. They have to come down and take on team side out Bologna, who knocked the Essex Rebels out in 5 sets last week. Shut him in, shut down by Fullerton to start set number 3, and the Malory Eagles are having a block party. Another block kill by the Eagles. There's been some monsters, and they start set 3 with another. It's Fullerton, rinse and repeat. Service error number 700 on the day. Apparently it's only 6 for Nathan Fullerton, so I'm maybe being a bit evil, but
15 on the game though for both teams, right? Oh no, just for Malory.
Yeah. As Tom Shutterman responds with one over the head. Here's our famous line judge. Back from water bottles. Maybe we should do a... Well, question is, serve it in or out quick?
In.
Correct. Ben Butler, lovely high ball. Gives time to Nathan Hall. A
Solo block! Solo block.
Shukri with Fraser well off the net, as a couple of the Malory Some of the Malory players finally in the venue, better late than never.
Yep.
As another roll shot by Bowden dug up. Shukri gets the set all wrong, so Fullerton just has to pass it over. Sherwin into the net, mistimed through the middle. As Kwame is going to go back to the service line. As Kwame waits. This one into net, and again, not even close. I don't know if you actually caught that, Aaliyah, but Ben Kwame went about this far off the bottom of the net tape, not the top.
Okay.
So guess what? Service error number 17 of the day.
17 for Malory. It's a service game at this point, and it's one we're not winning.
As that one just creeps over the line by Sherwin. Didn't miss by, that's the miss that's acceptable though. The one that leaves you in a little bit of doubt as a receiver. Do you need to play it? It's close. They at least thought about it, but it's better than halfway up the net.
Yeah.
As Cohen shot him in. That one just staying in the air and just never quite dipping as much as Tom thought. That one off the back into the back wall.
Those aces, we can slowly come back and try to make up for those 17 missed serves on Malory's side.
I don't think you get into 17
Slowly.
aces in a game.
Hey, you never know. Cohen's looking very determined right now.
And that one finds Bowden. Fraser into the block of Shukri and Matusenox. Those two doing well. That one dug up. Yasha finds Shukri and he finds the corner. Should we have a little guest interview, Aaliyah? Because we've got someone standing behind us.
I think we should. Someone super important.
As Essex called timeout. Ava Kudlet, how does it feel when your head coach wants you subbed out of line judging for being 100% correct?
You know, honestly, I was just doing my job and I was being honest, and I saw a touch and I saw it 3 times in a row, and I'm going to stick with my gut and say that it was a damn touch, because it was. And if they want to sub me out, that's chill, but I know what's really good, so.
We thought with the third one we couldn't quite tell from here. The first 2 were correct, but yeah, it could never be. Does that mean Jeff owes you one now for trying to be evil when you were correct?
I mean, we won the game regardless, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I don't really know. I just stick with my calls, and I'm honest, and I don't play favorites.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
We'll let you go get ready for your game,
All
but
right,
we had
sounds good.
after that we had to do that. Stick to your guns.
Yep. That's all you got to do.
So at the timeout, Malory 7-2 up, exactly the same score as we had in set number 1. We know what happened there. As Butler has to go with the bump set, triple block up, and Bowden finds the net, and it's just not been a good day for the Rebels in the office. They're really struggling for momentum. As now it's Dylan Cohen on the service run. And this time a bit more on it. That one clips the net tape. Bowden can't get enough on it to get Nathan Hall time to get there. He'll want to just wipe the court down. A little bit of a towel tactical timeout.
Yep, little break.
And going to be a sub for the Rebels as Bowden couldn't get to that one. Oscar Curzon-Hall into the passing unit for the Rebels. Second appearance today. As Cohen very tight to the service line yet again. Stays the block. Malory again getting a triple block all the way out there. Shukri takes him off. Butler one-handed stab keeps it alive. Curzon-Hall. Fullerton beats the dig of Nathan Hall, and Malory full steam ahead. Don't want to give Essex Rebels any hope of getting into this game.
Yep, and we saw some tape come off of Hall's fingers. That's how hard Fullerton just hit that ball.
Oh, we've also got middle change that snuck by both of us. as Dylan Cohen snuck back to the service line on the rotation as Daniel Farrell checking in. Obviously had a big game last week in the National Cup and growing a little bit into the Malory team. There didn't see much opportunity early in the year, so not quite sure what happened there. Jefferson Williams confirming whatever with the Rebels bench that he was happy with whatever was going on, but referee wasn't so inclined. As Essex Rebels have won 3 points this set, all 3 of them off Malory Eagles service errors.
At least we got 2 aces off of Cohen's run.
Correct. As Fraser unhappy, he's not playing at the level he's happy, so he calls for his own sub. I think it's going to be a double sub. And Fraser coming out, so Kalos, who we saw as a serving sub in set number 1, comes in, and Davin O'Tidy will come in wearing number 33 as well to play in the opposite position. So Rebels just confirming who the new captain is. That will be Tom Shutterman. As again, if set's gone with the workload coming into some of these players, as Sona Yasha finds the back corner. But if this is a good time to try and rotate a little bit because of the workload coming up, Rebels back in action as a university team on Wednesday, and then Friday up in Newcastle, Sunday up in Durham. So it's a busy schedule. So just a little bit of rest, obviously important to look after the athletes as well if things aren't going to change, but also a chance for some of these players to play well. It's Rodriguez with a one-handed stab. Fullerton keeps the ball in play, but it'll be a free ball. Kalos shot him in on the pipe, dug up by Rodriguez, but there's a net touch by Farrell. Fullerton said he didn't touch the net, and he didn't, but it was your teammate Danny Farrell. And the first point won not on a service error by the Rebels in set number 4, and that comes off another Malory error. I don't think Jeff's going to be, I don't know. Be interesting to get Jeff's thoughts after this, because he's a perfectionist on a good day, is Jefferson. As Fullerton gets rejected, the point alive. Rodriguez with the left-handed pass. The point somehow going. Shutterman into the block. Malory in control. Yasha one-handed set. Shugri wins the point, and ACS Cobham is on its feet.
Everybody's up. Everybody's up. At least on Malory's side.
We've even got Essex Rebels players clapping. That's how big this point was.
Great rally.
And it backs up by a service error. We should have predicted that.
Back to back. You have something great, something not so great, you know. Keep the balance.
Farrell misses.
We see a touch. No touch.
No touch. Overrule. Yasha Kwame off the block of Altidi and Sherwin. Bump set by Vian. And
calling for a double.
We're going to call a double on effectively the pass over by Sherwin. It's a call we've seen a lot this year. It feels like being a point of emphasis. Obviously the internal double rule's fine, but we've seen it a lot on passes over. The referees have been tight on that. Saw a couple back at the Essex Sport Arena 2 weeks ago in the Newcastle game as Farrell goes quick on the whistle, nearly catches the Rebels. Well, caught me by surprise. I wasn't ready. But Rebels there. Kwame, cross court, beats Butler.
I think this looks like the same efficiency we saw in that first sweep. Like, we're seeing a lot of clean first ball side outs coming from Malory right now.
Sometimes good. Sometimes
not so good.
And sometimes, or most of the time, service error. Have they changed the height of the net just for while they're serving?
I think they must.
As TD into the nets. We're going to be, 30 service errors combined at least through the end of this game? And bearing in mind this could be a 3-0, and that's a great pass by Curzon Hall though. Fullerton gets a touch on it. Rodriguez gonna not risk anything. But a beautiful pass by Oscar Curzon Hall, because that serve was over the net, going in and hit at power. Cohen plays it. We've seen Dylan Cohen have some in serve receive, and they're going to say Kwame hit the net. That looked like outside the antenna.
Yep.
I don't know if the ball had already also hit the floor.
Some crowd involvement here.
The second, and they're going to get a warning, but the line judge, the second referee here doesn't have an angle on it. He's so close to net, you can't tell where that antenna is. As Kwame gets it back on the receive, and that ball just touched the block and it just threw off the timing of Otadi in the back row. Just got him crossed up, the ball was going to his left and then came back into the body, couldn't quite make the effort on it.
Pinball off his hand.
People asking what JC's next prediction is, because he's done well at predicting things today. I just get a smile, that's all I get. Ben Kwame goes line, good attempt by Oscar Curzon Hall. Kalos high over to the length of Curzon Hall. Shukri gets the winner. Sherwin looked like he was there, but that ball coming directly down, not over the net. And Abdi Malik Shukri's had a big impact for Malory since he came on. Midway through set number 2. That one going virtually vertically downwards.
Looked like the block was kind of jumping right off the net, leaving that space.
As Kwame clips the net tape. Well done by Butler as Curzon Hall beats the block of Cohen.
They returned that same exact play. Block was a little bit too far off the net. Gave him space to get that ball right on the inside.
So another sub for the Rebels. Jacob Lloyd-Williams in for Rafa Mian. Just the second appearance in the Super League for Jacob Lloyd-Williams this season. 3 kills on 6 swings though, as Yasha tight to the net. And Jersey just clipped the back of the net on the way down. As Dylan Cohen saying he wanted it a little bit higher anyway. And it's 18-11, so Malory 7 points away. As that one over the baseline. And Sam Sherwin, who's normally been reliable for the Rebels, multiple errors on the day for him. He came into season with just 7 serving errors at 91%. As Curzon Hall puts that one over, Farrell gets that all types of wrong, ends up giving up a free ball in return. Lloyd-Williams,
hustle play.
Fullerton gets a touch on it. Shukri hits the line.
Just like you said, he is making a major impact for Malory. He came in and meshed and is grabbing these points, taking advantage.
And it's a big positive for Malory. Like we talked about in that pre-game, that second outside position's been a bit of a revolving door. And who's going to claim their stake for it? Well, Abdi Malik Shukri is doing a job, as Fullerton again on the cross court, right position. Ball back out, and that time that one drifting over the baseline. Not the contact he was looking for. That ball nearly still snuck in.
First error.
Very possibly.
I think so. First error, a little float serve.
Well, it wasn't really a serve, but...
From the front line.
Kwame gets crossed up. Farrell has to play second touch, and Abdi misses that one again. Back-to-back errors, but all really came from the pass of when your middle's having to play second ball. It's not ideal. As you can just hear Carol Gordon just getting her side to calm down a little bit. As Shukri makes no mistake, go back to him. And Malory in cruise control. A rare double sweep on the way of the Essex Rebels. They'll go back top of the Super League. As Farrell got a little touch on that. I think people wanting 4 touches, but referee says Cohen got it, and Fullerton misses the baseline, not by a lot. Hall, Rodriguez, who's been quiet, hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Great dig by Ben Butler, and Shudderman gets the best of the block again, just taking the pace off, changing the angle and finding the hand of Farrell. And Rebels with a bit of momentum late in the set, but can they do anything to pull a rabbit out of the hat and find a way to keep this game alive? Kwame tight, Yasha kept it legal. That was right on the net, but a great piece of setting by Sona Yasha to keep that. We'll have a look at it again on replay and make sure what we think happened did happen.
This is the side out that we're talking about.
Yep.
First ball side out.
That was definitely on the Malory side of the net still.
Yep. Great sequence of events.
As big serve way into the roof. That's an overpass. It's also out by every Kalos, and Malory moved 2 points away. Shukri Kalos with the back set. That was in a good position, dug up by Rodriguez. Kwame's going to be able to recycle, rolls it into the back corner. No one there. Curzon Hall in 5. There wasn't even anyone in 6, never mind 1.
Empty.
And Malory have match points over the Essex Rebels. It was 23-25, 25-27, 18-25 at the end of November, and now they'll have a chance for a 3-0 victory. Once again, Shukri, net tape, Shudderman gets there, Kalos. TD misses the baseline, and Malory Eagles go back top of the Dynamik Men's Super League with a 3-0 victory over the Essex Rebels, 25-20, 25-20 and 25-15. And it wasn't the necessarily cleanest performance by Malory from the service line, but they dominated the other elements of the game, and it was an easy victory in the end for the Eagles.
I think we saw second set get a little shaky, but I think there were subs being made that brought the game back to life, and I think we saw that in these results.
In the end, for the match, Malory ended up with 19 service errors, 11 for the Rebels. Did someone not say 30?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I don't even get flour, wow. Okay, that's being talked about later. But for Malory, in the end, it was a team effort. Nathan Fullerton started hot, ended up with 13 points. Ben Kwame with 12. Dylan Cohen chipped in with a very quiet 8. But Malory, through blocking as well, got a lot of big momentum swings as well. For the Rebels, just a quiet day. No one got going. Ewan Fraser with 10 points in the end. Tom Shudderman, next leading scorer for the Rebels, with just 4 points.
Yep. It's hard to win a game with not many scoring players, or to have that big of a gap.
As we're going to make our way down courtside, we'll get an MVP interview as well. But how important is this now for Malory, Ilya, to set up for next weekend, because this is the weekend that clinches your top 4 against Durham and Newcastle, so it's going to be super important for them just to carry through momentum now into that next weekend.
No, I think this is just like you're saying, the momentum that we're talking about. I mean, taking this game, taking these wins, this 3-set sweep is super important, not only for the team, but also each player, the coaches, and the league. I think seeing these numbers and these stats and these results, it's just another reaffirmation that there's a lot more to do in these next couple of weeks.
And for Essex, obviously the same schedule, but important now. Like, this was kind of a bonus game. When you play in the top 3, it's kind of a game you feel like if it's great, if you steal it, there's a little bit less pressure. That's obviously partly maybe the reason they were looking at Sam's workload and him not being available. So with him out of the lineup, you knew this was going to be a difficult challenge, but now you've got to refocus. You've got a big Bucks quarterfinal against Durham on Wednesday, but then going up to Newcastle, a team they played just 2 weeks ago in 5 sets, and then the Durham game, which now feels like that's the must-win. So it'll be super important as we just try and get ready for our MVP interview. Jefferson Williams doing Jefferson Williams things and taking time in a huddle, as you know.
Yes. I mean, the game was shaky. I'm sure he has a lot of stuff to say.
What?
Wasn't the cleanest, like we said.
You mean serve the
in.
ball over the net?
And in. Not just
So
over.
we just try and get that post-game. Obviously, next up in about 55 minutes' time, we've got the Essex Rebel women against Malory. While I've got you, Leah, before we let you go, what's going to be the key today?
I think we also have we have a lot of lineup changes as well. I think that chemistry is super important to figure out. I think we're out for a W, I think, just as Essex is, and I think that us coming together as a team is going to be the most important, and sticking together even when times get a little tough.
And now we've got the customary photo as well. Malory have done their players of the match. Might be a hint. One of their 2 MVPs that they've picked matches ours, which is always a good sign. We've done a good job as Malory getting the customary team photo for the social posts.
Yep.
Gives us time to fill at least. But obviously, how important is it for this team to bounce back? Because obviously it didn't go the way when you played the Rebels last time. So how important is it now that you've yet to get a win against Durham or Essex? How important is that to try and pick up?
Well, I think we've been in the gym, really grinding and really trying to figure out how to beat each of these teams, because their skill sets are also different, as is ours, and I think we're just trying to figure out a way to come out on top.
Well, I suppose you want to get warm up, so I'm going to let you go. Appreciate you hopping on.
Yes,
And we're going to bring in our match MVP in his Malory debut with the Eagle already. 1 game, 1 Eagle, 1 win. Just talk about how the process has been, first of all, settling into Malory, obviously after your move from Richmond.
It's been tough. I haven't trained with them much, to be honest, because I've been having work, commitments and whatnot, and they train on different days. So it's been tough, but to see the result here is just, I can't be happier,
And obviously, you knew it was going to take some time to bed in. You were cup tied last week, so your first appearance, you got thrown in set 2. What was the instruction from Jeff when you went in, just to try things down? Because that's the one point where the game was a little bit scrappy from your side.
I mean, initially he never really told me anything when going in. So I guess that at first it was a bit uneasy, but then I took it as in he trusts me to do my job. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead, do my job, do the best I can, and see what happens.
And how nice is it to be able to, in your debut, to work with both sets? Obviously Joel, and then Sonna came in end of set 2.
Yeah.
Obviously a couple of the big blocks, but he really set you up well in set 3 as well.
Honestly, funnily enough, this Thursday was the first time I got a set from both of them. So for the last couple of weeks I haven't got a single set from either of them, and then to come here and to be able to connect with them the way I did, honestly can't complain. It was really fun.
And now big weekend coming up, road trip up to Newcastle and Durham. Business end of the season, how important is it to get Final Four clinched next weekend and not worry about that in the last couple of matches?
Extremely important, because I know at least with Newcastle, last time they played them opening weekend was 3-2. So I know this is going to be, and obviously they're top of the league right now, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be a tough game. We're going to have to bring out everything, and we know how strong they are. So we just got to play our game and see how that goes.
Well, we're going to take a break here from Cobham. We're going to be back in about 30 minutes' time for the Malory Eagles Essex Rebels women's game. But from here, Malory Eagles 3-0 victory over the Essex Rebels.